Hello guys, today we're going to demonstrate how to build or how to use a progress bar from the backend. So while you are executing some backend code, you want to visualize a progress bar and maybe give some updates during your procedure in the backend. And we're going to use the WebSocket technology to do that. So let me first create a little app. Progress bar. Okay. All right. So I have one container, and basically I don't really need to do anything here except put a button here because I want to execute something. Start progress bar demo. So what I want to do is to execute an endpoint because I'm going to process maybe some data, and I've created here already a endpoint for that, simulate progress bar, and to prevent, because I'm not sending any data at all, so the backend framework is going to validate on the fact that I'm not sending any data back. So I'm going to simply bypass that and add here function is init. So if I do that, the backend won't check on any data being missed or not being passed to the backend. So that's all I'm doing here, function init as a filter text or an argument from my endpoint. So that's all I'm going to do, and now I'm going to have a look at this simulate progress bar. Okay, so simulate progress bar, here it is. So the first thing we're going to do is, like always, create a data set, define that as an output parameter, and the data set in my case doesn't have any inputs, just will have a TT results record back and potentially TT rules. These two tables are always being passed back as a default, and the definitions for those are in these includes. Not that important. So I don't even need to populate my data set because I'm not going to expect any values. So I'll just delete that because I don't need that. So the first thing I'll do is I'll fetch some variables from my query string. So the app ID, these are standard stuff, the app name, and this one I'll explain later. This is a custom one which I added. I haven't passed the filter yet because there are two types of progress bars which we can use. We have the how to call it, the step-by-step progress bar. So every step you make, for example, if you have a progress bar of 100% and you have 4 steps, the first steps will show the progress bar or set the progress bar to 25%, the second to 50, the third to 75%, and the fourth step would put that to 100% and then close the request and the progress bar. So we have a step-by-step progress bar, but we also have a infinite progress bar. So we actually don't know when this progress bar or when this process will end, and we don't really have, or potentially we don't have update steps for that. So that's an infinite progress bar. We'll come back to that. So I can demonstrate now two types based on the value of type here. So at the moment I haven't passed it, so it's type empty. And here I'm just doing a loop. Again, 4 steps, and the first thing I do in this loop is, if it's not the very first step, I'm going to query if the cancel button was pressed. That's basically all I'm doing with this keyword here, progress cancel. So, and actually I'm asking the framework or the front end better, has anybody pressed the cancel button? So if my reply is cancel, then okay, I'll just go ahead and leave here. But that's not the very first step. The very first step and all the other steps, it will launch a progress bar or update the progress bar with this text here. This is the type progress bar. This was the type cancel. So this progress bar type will set the title, set some additional text. Here I can specify what type of progress bar I want. If it's empty or it's equal to bar, so you could pass here empty or bar, it's the same value, or you could also pass circle. And this is actually the progress bar value, and in this case I'm doing 1 multiplied by 25, so the very first step is 25%, the next step 50, 75, and then 100. And then of course I'm checking always if the cancel was pressed, and then I'm going to pause 1 second. So basically I'm going to loop through a loop of 4 seconds, and every second I need a update, and every update I'm going to check if the cancel was pressed. So let's have a look how that looks like. I'll start this app. Start progress demo. So there it is, my title text number 2, title text number 3, and title text number 4, and then I'll close the progress bar, and that's about it. So if you want, we can of course put multiple steps there. If you don't like this one and you want to use the infinite looping progress bar, then we just need to change here the filter. I pass here type, and I can pass here, for example, infinite. Okay. So I'll save that. I'll refresh this meanwhile. And I'm going back to my example because now my type is infinite here. So I'll go here. And the very first thing with an infinite progress bar is I need to launch the infinite progress bar. So as long as I'm not closing it, it's going to keep running. So you'll see the difference soon. The progress bar value here is 999. If I want to stop the progress bar, I'll go here in the end. The progress bar value is 888. So to start it, it's 999. To stop it is 888 with the same keyword here, progress bar. So here in the loop, I'm going to loop through 7 loops here. And every time I'm looping through, I'm going to check if the cancel was pressed. If the cancel pressed, then I'll simply stop. And here on the 4th loop, I want to change basically the title and also the text. But I'm not doing anything else. I'm just saying progress bar, same as in the beginning. Progress bar, just changing a text and changing the text here. And the same value. Okay. So on the 4th loop, it should change the text, and at the end, it should basically stop the infinite progress bar with this 888. So let's have a look if that works. There you have it. It's an infinite progress bar, so it doesn't really have steps. And after the 7th loop, this here should change. There you go, it changed. And now it's finished. Well, after 3 seconds at least. Okay. So, I'll do that again, just to demonstrate. The user can still hit cancel, and it stops immediately, and I see cancel is pressed. So, with this mechanism of progress bar, you could simply build in a progress bar from the back end and communicate to the front end in any application or endpoint, which might take a little bit longer than 1 second, for example. So that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.